All right, Coach, if you want to start us off with an opening statement.
Yeah, I'm not as happy as I should be. We won a game. You get off the snide, but at the same time, we had a 17, 18 point lead, and we have to figure out a way to get through that. There were some really good things. Aaron was, I thought, best game of his life here, because it wasn't just his offense. So he hit a couple threes. He drove the ball. He went off 2 feet. He guarded. He rebounded. He ran his lane. He should have had a dunk. He could have had 30. Really pleased with Aaron. I thought Josh started out driving the ball, making some good plays. I was pleased with him. I thought AJ played pretty good for his first start, but he's got to play defense too, and that's what we're working on. I thought Rocket came off the bench. He jacked 2 threes because it was the end of the half and end of the shot clock, so his stats look worse. But I thought he did a damn good job considering, and not easy to just come off the bench. I thought he was good. Gabe did what he could do. I wasn't as happy with our bigs. Malik did okay. Joey struggled, got a tooth knocked out, and that probably had something to do with it. But I wasn't as happy with our bigs, but they put a lineup in there at 5 guards sometimes, and that made it difficult. So we got our first win. We're going to have to get a lot better. We did some good things. We're still not defending like I think we're capable of. Questions?
We'll start with Matt Charbonneau.
Tom, obviously, we saw how Aaron played tonight. Did you sense a difference from him, whether it was confidence or just aggression, or what was different about him tonight than what we've seen so far this year?
Well, I just told him that he did what we've been telling him to do. He drove the ball. He went off 2 feet. He has worked hard on his shooting. Tonight he made some threes, but without those threes, he still has 20 points, The other things he did, he's getting to be now my best lockdown defender, which that's what I thought would make him more of a Gary Harris type player. So I was pleased with him, and I think he was pleased. And I think he understands that, those are the things you got to do if you're going to be a big time player. He checked the box 4 for 5 from the line. Only had 4 rebounds, 2 turnovers, 1 assist. I thought we did a pretty good job with our turnovers until we got a couple late. And Aaron was a stabilizing factor. He was the best player, and that's what he should be. And I was pleased with Aaron.
And you said you wanted to get to the line more. Obviously, it seemed from the outset that was a goal. Guys were being a little more aggressive, getting to the basket. Do you like the way they played in that?
I did. We had 13 free throws the first half, and I thought we were very aggressive early. Then I thought the second half we came out like gangbusters, and then we went very passive, and we didn't shoot free throws again until the very end of the game. So that was disappointing, and that's what I'm trying to teach these guys. We're at Michigan State. Winning a game at Nebraska, there's no insult there. We know they're not as good, although they've given some teams a game. They didn't give Ohio State one, but the Michigan game was close most of it, and not sure who else, but that's not what we're looking for. And that's what I try to tell my team. We're not finishing the job right now. 17-point lead should end up 30. And especially the way we were playing, and we came out and gave up a couple of threes, and we're just letting teams shoot too well against us, and we've got to change that.
We'll start with Chris Solari.
Hey, Tom. Real quick, you mentioned Joey had a tooth knocked out. Was that in this game, or what happened?
Yeah, early in the game, first half. I don't know how it happened, but it fell right in his face, I guess. So I got to give him a little slack on that. But, he's missing some shots. Foster, we missed 3 or 4 threes in the first half from my best shooters, and that would have changed the game too. So I think there are enough good things, Chris, but I still don't feel great about, our transition defense. Although the way they call it now, it's like bowling, let's put up the pins and just run a ball through and put your head down and run through and then call foul. I hate that. I hate that, but that hurt us, and we didn't do a very good job of it.
And just along with the bigs, there were a couple points where Kithier kind of had some big plays for you guys, though, and crashing the offensive boards. I guess what did you see in his night?
Kithier's been my most solid and steady player. And, he's the smartest guy because he's the veteran. And he knows how to guard things and play things, although he made a big mistake on a 3 they hit late. But, they were in there sometimes at the end with 5 guards in there. Levin played the 5 and he's a 3-man. So that was a little difficult for us. So I think Kithier in general, I don't know exactly what his stats were. He only had 4 rebounds, but I think you're right. He was 3 for 3, 1 for 2 from the line. His defense was pretty good. And as you said, I think he had a couple big plays. And so I was pleased with Thomas.
Go to Lindsey Huddleston.
Hey, Tom, a good outing tonight. You were very adamant with us the other day about some changes you were going to make, even responsibility you were going to take on. We couldn't watch you play. We couldn't watch you tonight, but the commentators were going crazy about you on the sideline. Can you talk about your emotional engagement tonight and how that may have been a little different?
Well, there's a lot of young guys on my team, new guys, and, trying to take things in stride the best I can. But as I said the other day about softness in our society, and, maybe I was getting that way a little bit. I'm not going to get that way. Ain't going to happen here. I think you're right. We got after some guys today because we're going to learn how to play harder, better, longer, stronger. And yet defensively, we still got a ways to go. So, I was pleased with the changes. It was nobody's fault, as I said, and make sure everybody understands that, and I think, I got to get Rocket now. We got to work him in. It just happened that Gabe and, Josh and Aaron played so good, and they played more minutes. Rocket played 15 or so, down a little bit, but he'll get those minutes back. I don't see his minutes changing. I just hope to see him at the 2 a little bit more. The problem we had tonight was AJ got tired, and AJ and Frosty still don't guard real well. Rocket guards real well. And so I'm still playing him some at the point. And, but I think he was cool with that. He actually was good. And he hit some big free throws, hit a big 3, hit a nice runner. I was pleased with Rock in general, but we got to get him back, get him a few more minutes. And then, I thought I was going to play Marty more, and we still got it, but they went so small sometimes that we just didn't do it. We were in trouble in that way, and Thomas was playing so good. So it wasn't bad. Rotation's got to change a little bit, so there'll be more changes for Thursday or for Tuesday.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome.
Go to Rico Cooney.
Hey, Coach. Talk a little bit about you wanted to impress more as far as going inside and making that a priority. And it looked like kind of playing the inside out was going to be a priority tonight. It was kind of a ride or die kind of situation here. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we did, because we knew they were doubling us and we thought we could kick it out. And that's why we got some of those 3s. And we even put Aaron in there a little bit, and he did a great job. Instead of shooting those crazy fallaways, he took it at some people. He was a man tonight. And that's the way Aaron's got to play. I'm really impressed how he played, but I'm not really surprised how he played. I think that's what he can do. I'm not saying he'll get 27 every night, but I think he can hit a couple 3s. I think he can get open on that break. I think he can drive it. I just like the way he showed total versatility. He guarded bigs, he guarded point guards, he drove the ball, he posted up, and he hit 3s. And that's the versatility I think Aaron Henry has. We haven't seen it enough. And I told him that after the game, and I'll tell him tomorrow. But we needed to win a game, guys. It's not a huge win, but it is the first win of the new year, and I'm going to make it that. But I'm not going to be satisfied with anything, because that's not who we are and what we are right now.
Thank you.
Go to Graham Couch.
Tom, you mentioned AJ's defense. I'm wondering though if you saw enough from him that he is going to be the point guard moving forward, at least as long as it looks like this offensively.
Well, I would say yes, because I already told you, we knew what Frosty is. Frosty can play so many minutes, and he's going to be there, and he's going to do everything he can. He's been the best leader we've had. And I told you that I'm trying to be fair to Rocket and not put a running back at quarterback, not put a round peg in a square hole. And like I said, please don't take that wrong. There might be a day when he's a great point guard here, but that spring, summer, fall exhibition games, he had no chance to develop into those things because it is changing a position. And I was just pleased by the way he handled it. There was no complaining. There was no this or that. He was a man about everything. And I think he understands, and I think he agrees. And we just got to feel a way now. We might go small sometimes and play Aaron or Gabe at the 4 and get more minutes for Rock in there. And but AJ's got to improve a lot on some areas too. He has a great feel for the game, like Denzel. He's like Denzel as a sophomore, freshman, but Denzel didn't start as a freshman or sophomore, And I said, when you start, there's a responsibility to play both ends, and his conditioning has got a ways to go, which we knew. But I think the bright spot is you can see where he has a feel for the game and a flair for it. He can get in that paint. He can make some plays. All in all, I was very pleased with how he played. Is trying to change his body language a little bit, so he's just very nonchalant, and that's got to change for me and for our team. But if I had to rate him and put him on the road, first game starting after playing maybe 20, 30 minutes all year, I thought he did a hell of a job, to be honest.
All right, we have 2 final questions. We'll start with Brendan Quinn and wrap up with Fred Human. Brendan.
Tom, another one on AJ. Obviously, because of the circumstances, we really haven't gotten to know him. Can you tell us a little bit about his personality and how he is going to kind of take on the role of a point guard, right? I imagine he has to be more verbal and all that stuff. How does that kind of fit? How does that play out?
It's going to take a lot of work because his personality is he's a funny kid. He's a fun to be around kid. The players love him. Coaches like him a lot. He had the injury, so he missed out on some things. But he is kind of quiet, and he's kind of, I call him a little bit nonchalant, and that's not what I, am used to at that position, or not. That's not the way it's going to be. But I have to be understanding too that it's going to take a little time. But he has the one thing that I think is a lot like Denzel. He just has a feel, a flair for the game. And it's just, we're just going to have to work at it and keep working at it. And he knows it. He wants to work at it. So you'll enjoy him as you get to know him. And yet you'll start watching the parts that have to get better, and they will get better. I mean, first real playing time, he played 10 minutes at Minnesota. Other than that, he's never played much. And so I think, this could really help us. I think, too, taking some of that pressure, Rock can come in and play that position, too, some, maybe not as many minutes. And if I can get him 18 minutes at 1 and 5 or 6 at the point, now he's still getting his 20-some minutes a game, too, because we need him. He's best free throw shooter on my team. Should be Foster and Joey, but they've struggled a little bit, and he's the best free throw shooter. And I just I still appreciate what each one of those guys can do, but every one of them does something, and yet Aaron's the only one that does everything or capable right now. And I think Josh had a pretty good all-around game too, because he had a guard too. And I'm gonna tell you now, you'll think it's funny, but a couple of those guys, man, hard to guard. It's hard to guard Levin, me, and hard to guard Allen. He's strong. And McGowan's, he's the quickest guy. He reminded me of, what's his name from, where is he now? I don't know, Washington, I guess. But, he's as quick a point guard as we played against, and he's 6'3", and he can dunk it on everybody, as you saw. He's a hell of an athlete. So they're going to beat some people. I mean, they're a little wild if you ask me right now. But I think Fred's a hell of a coach. And if you can get that out of them, they've got talented kids on that team. Second question on you. Did you add, you said two-part or?
No, that was it. No, I said the AJ question.
Okay, thanks.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. I'll make sure you get the norm.
All right, and our next one, our final question, we'll go to Fred Human. Fred, you're muted.
I said, I promise I'll get this down by the end of the year. Can you hear me?
Fred, the year ended. You don't mean
Oh,
next year, do you?
I mean the season. You can hear me then.
We hear you now.
You kind of stole my thunder when you talked
Wait,
about.
wait. I haven't laughed much tonight. That isn't your rocking chair in the background, is it?
What's that?
That isn't your rocking chair in the background, is it?
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
Well, that's one of my 11 grandkids.
Okay, good. Phew.
I would crush that. I might crush this one.
All right, go ahead.
You kind of stole my thunder when you said you needed to feel what a victory felt like. But, once every 20 years, you lose 3 games in a row around here. So do you sense that this can settle your team down a little bit, even though the standards are higher than just winning the game at Nebraska?
Yeah, I think it helps your team. I mean, it helps when you win. I mean, we shot 50-some%, the ball went in the basket. I mean, those things all help. I just want to make sure that they understand where they are. And that means, yeah, let's feel good about a win. But, in 1995-6 season, if I would have beat, Catholic Central's 5th grade team, I'd have felt good about it. Times have changed. So I want to make sure they understand that was a good win, but it's not good enough. And when you have a 17-point lead, you got to learn to step on something. I mean, we did play good stretches. So now we're starting to play some good stretches, and we just got to do more consistently. But it'll come. I mean, the freshman quarterback, that'll come, and getting Rocket right. And then we got to get our bigs now. Joey's got to play better. He's my big project this week because he's really a good player, and he's just been struggling. Now the tooth probably didn't help that first half. I don't know how bad it was. He played after that, but you just knock it out. I'm trying to ask questions as I'm talking. But yeah, you know what? We won our first game. We're 1-0 in 2021. That's the way I'm going to have to look at it for now. We're 7-3. We did have a 3-game losing streak last year, so it was against 3 non-ranked teams, if I recall right. But we're going to play our, 3, 4, 5th ranked team and probably our 3rd. If they would have won today, they would have been a top 10 team, but we're going to play our 5th top 21 team already this season, and it's going to get crazier. So sit back in that little rocking chair, Fred, ask for a real regular size one and enjoy the night. Okay, buddy?
Next time I'm asking from that chair. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. You guys take care of yourself. We'll get better. Promise.
Thanks, Coach.